No, you went on YouTube again.
Did I?
Instead of custom, you need to go live on custom streaming.
Okay, where do I do that? Because
From the Zoom. So on
yeah,
Zoom and the live that's going right now.
yeah.
And then you'll see a list from more, you'll see a list of go live to YouTube, go live to Twitch, things like that. You want to do go live to custom streaming.
I do not see any of that. Where would I? What I'm seeing right now is where it says the title of it, edit. It's got the little window
Did you
for you.
set up custom streaming when you set up the Zoom?
No.
That's why you don't see custom streaming.
Okay, but when
I would
did,
say just go live on right now since everybody's waiting. I would just go live to YouTube directly, and we'll just direct people over there from the other streams if they're still there.
And we'll get you figured out on the other one
Yeah.
I
later.
can't go live.
Well, you've been.
I'm live. I've been, but yeah, but I'm in Zoom right now. I've gone. It said go to. I said go to YouTube.
Yeah,
It
we're,
went-
we're live right now, but we're not live on the link that you set up.
Okay, well,
We
I
are
can see
live.
the
I
chat.
see
Yeah.
us live.
They can see
I
us.
just, oh, okay, maybe it's just that I can't. Okay, are they saying they can see us?
Yep.
We're
Yeah,
at a different
there is a
link.
live with us in it. It's just not the
Yep.
one that
Oh,
like where
okay.
you posted
Oh.
it.
Okay, but the people I'm seeing in chat right now can see us, right?
Yes. Yes.
And they can
Depending
hear
on
us,
which
right?
chat you're in.
Yeah.
If you're in the chat that you set up earlier this week, they can't
I
see
am.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't see us. We're in a different link.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
they can see us. They're listening to us talk. They're talking to us, telling us they can see us and hear us. So let's just start talking.
Okay, Shannon, can you see us on YouTube?
Yes, I can see us on a YouTube. Yep.
I can
Okay,
too.
so then it's working.
Yep.
Okay, it's working. I can see us on YouTube or on Zoom. I cannot see us up in the little edit screen on YouTube, but I can see everybody's chat on there.
Right.
So if they can see us and if they can hear
Yep.
us right now, fine.
Yep.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Warned you that there could be some technical problems here because I have never done this kind of link before. Probably I was not the right person to start this out of it because you guys have done this before. I never have. That's not how we do it. So
We'll do a
sorry,
private
everybody.
little conference and I'll help you.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. Okay, so just to confirm, everybody that's in the chat right now, you guys can see us all and hear us. Am I correct? Somebody tell me if that's true. Tell me, Ingrid, or tell me, Kelly, or tell me, Brenda, or Alice, or Charlotte. There's probably a delay.
Yeah.
Ingrid is asking for us to post a new link in the old chat because
Shannon,
there's
can
the
you do
old
that?
chat and there's a new
I
link.
can't post anything in the old
Oh,
chat
that's
because
right.
I'm not a moderator. Yeah.
That's right.
I can't post it either because I'm not in there.
Okay.
I mean, the old chat.
That's
how...
okay. Those people will figure it out. It's fine.
Okay, maybe I can. Just a second here. You're making me panic.
No,
No,
don't
don't
panic.
panic.
Don't
No, I'll
panic.
just tell them to go to your channel and just go to the live that should be red there. You're good. All good. They will figure it out.
Okay. Because now I have two things on. Okay. Let's carry on, shall we? People
Yes.
will figure this out. We're sorry about this. It's my bad. Yes, Shannon's saying it's on my page. So you'll find that that's the one that's here. Yeah, okay, I see. All right. Let's just do this thing, shall we? So welcome to the Bumblers. And it's me that's a bumbler. Welcome to the Sewcial Review. This is our first one, as you can tell, and I'm having some technical difficulties, so I apologize for that. I thought this was going to work, but as always, technology lets me down when I need it the most, so I obviously need a refresher course on how to do this, whatever. So, anyways, why are we here? Well, first of all, you know who we are, I think, but let's just do introductions all the way around. Let's start with Stephanie and move around in a clockwise direction.
Hi there, I'm Stephanie, Quilting with Stephanie Stitches from Ohio.
And I'm Stephen from the Idiot Quilter. Walter.
And I'm Walter. I'm the idiot's husband.
Oh, you changed your thing. And Russ.
I'm Russ with Quilt Meets World. I'm here in the Metro Atlanta area.
And I'm Shannon from Slay Arts, and I'm outside of DC in Frederick, Maryland.
Okay, so we're all here. Now, if you guys caught our lives we did when we were at Dahlonega for Stephanie's Stitches Retreat, we did 4 lives, yeah, in our usual live time slots. And we had so much fun doing that we thought we would capitalize on the fun we had there and try to do something similar, hopefully easier, but that'll get better with time. Here on my channel this time, but we're going to rotate it every month. So our plan is we're going to do this the first Wednesday every month, or not the first, the second, right?
Second.
I am so befuddled right now. Some
The second first Wednesday.
Yeah, the second first Wednesday. No, the second Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we're just going to chat about whatever comes up. Feel free to write comments, nice ones, and ask any questions of any of us in the chat line or in the chat section as well on here. But what I thought might be a good topic, since this is the first of the new year, is to talk about what our plans are, both our personal and our professional. And when I mean professional, I mean what we have planned for our channels or for special events or things like that in the coming year. Now, this is not written in stone. These are ideas we have playing in our heads right now, but we thought we'd throw it out there. So who wants to start? Stephanie?
Ah.
Get on the spot. Gets me off the spot.
Okay. Why do I have to go first?
I've
Well,
got a list.
Okay, Shannon's got a list. Let's go
Wow.
with Shannon.
She's got a list and everything. I was just gonna fly off my head. Okay, go ahead, Shannon.
Okay, Shannon, hit us with it.
It's a long list, but these are goals for my side hustle, which is the quilt business. So the 9-to-5 real world is crazy by itself and it doesn't need any help. So it's going to do what it's going to do. But for me, for 2024, what I really want to focus on, to help me clean up my space, is to do an inventory of all my works in progress and create a battle plan to actually finish some damn things and get them done and checked off, and so I can move on. I also want to continue, because shameless plug, Stephanie and I have a retreat this Sunday, and it's the first pattern I've ever written, and now I've been bitten by the pattern writing bug, and I have all of these ideas swimming in my head. So really tackling EQ8 and really learning pattern writing, and just getting all of the ideas that are in my head and actually done, and on the website that I rebuilt today, that actually has like a shop section and everything. So that is the second big deal for 2024. And then I want to start like actually creating kits for the patterns that I'm writing. So those are the top 3 big things for me for 2024 for this quilty crazy roller coaster.
Wow, you've got a lot planned then. Ambitious, I would say, but I'm sure very doable as well. So thanks, Shannon, for that. Has anybody got any questions out there while we're doing this? Anything
Sure.
for Shannon?
Colleen wants to know if everybody knows what clockwise is.
Depends on what thing you're looking at, because my
Okay,
clockwise
yeah.
on my on my tablet is different than on the thing I'm watching.
I noticed that
Yeah,
she
you're
said
right.
that too, but it, depending on our view, it looks different. So we think we might have gone clockwise, but it probably wasn't to you guys. So
And really, it doesn't matter anymore because Shannon went first anyways. So,
And anybody young doesn't even know what a clock looks like.
oh, that's true. That's true.
My
They wouldn't
kids
even
do,
know.
but that they're the exception. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
Linda said, I heard someone say two of you have day jobs. So for the two that have day jobs, what are they?
go ahead, Shannon.
Internet geek.
What does that
Finance
mean?
and accounting. Oh yeah, let her describe what internet geek is,
Yeah,
because
what
I
is
didn't catch that one either.
So I work in IT, and what I mostly do is translate geek speak into layman's terms in process documents and service catalogs for people that aren't technically savvy, so they know what to find where in order to do their jobs that usually aren't technical. So
Okay. And Russ, what do you do?
I tell people that I am a computer geek in the finance and accounting group of a local media conglomerate. But I do a lot of babysitting as well at work. I basically make Excel cry. That's the easiest thing to say. What I do is I make Excel cry.
Okay, basically, you both explained yourself very clearly. I can see why both of you are in computer technology. Oh, and there's the cat's ass. Okay. This may pop up every now and then, so that's okay. It is not a direct reflection upon what we are thinking right now. Okay. So, Stephanie, are you ready to tell us about what you have
Sure.
planned this coming year? Okay.
Okay, so I've got a bunch of stuff planned actually. First and foremost, my retreats, which I just released Georgia last Saturday, and it sold out in less than 24 hours. So that was awesome. And then I have Millersburg coming up here in April, but that is completely sold out now as well. Pennsylvania, that is my next retreat, which is in September. It's September 12th through the 15th. I was going to wait till this Saturday to open it up, but it's open now. So if you would like to come to my only retreat that has any openings left at all for the rest of the year, Pennsylvania is it. So you can go on over to Together We Sew quiltretreats.com and sign up if you like, or contact me for more information. Like Shannon said, this Sunday, we're going to have our first in-person or virtual retreat together. So I'm really excited about that. And over the last few days, I've had several people, up to about 20, ask when we're doing our next one. So we haven't had our first one yet. So that makes me kind of feel good that you guys have that much confidence in us.
that's exciting.
Yeah. Some other things I want to focus on this year. If you haven't seen my video yet, I'm not going to be writing patterns for other companies anymore. I'm going to do them for myself. I have at least a dozen patterns that I've written, not written necessarily, but drawn out in EQ8 that I want to bring to fruition this year. Two right away, one called Rock Candy I'm going to bring out within the next month. My good friend Bev from Florida, she saw it when I was drawing it out in October, and she's been bugging me about it. And I'm kind of really glad she has been, because it's kept me wanting to finish it. I just haven't had the time with everything I've been doing for other companies. So I'm going to quit all that this year and focus on my own things. So I'm going to have that coming out here within the next month. And then sometime down the road in the next few months, I'm going to start a traditional piece block of the month. Hopefully I can rope one of these suckers into it with me.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to start a new segment on my YouTube channel, a beginner series. I have a lot of people writing me all the time saying, I'm a very beginner at quilting. What do I do? So I decided that starting on Friday, I'm going to go from, step one of what you need to do to learn how to quilt. So look for that. That's going to be something new on my channel. That's professional. Personally, I don't even want to say this number because it's really disgusting, but you guys know I long arm for other people, and I always prioritize my customer quilts. I have 41 quilt tops that need to be quilted. And that's quilt tops and table runners and stuff like that. But it's a ridiculous amount of my own things. So I need to do that. So this year, I'm going to make it a priority to get at least 2 of those done a week. And then hopefully by the end of the year, they'll be caught up. So That's a big thing personally I want to work on. And that's probably it as far as the quilting world. Yeah.
So I
That's-
put, did it show up for everybody? I put in the link to Together We Sew retreats in the,
No, that's
that
the
not-
one that we're not on. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the chat we're not on.
you guys just
But-
keep talking then.
I see a couple of people saying hi in that one, so I'm gonna let them know we're on the other.
Okay, I think I may have this customization. Well, I can now see it's all on this other one I put on, but now I can't see the chat.
That's okay. I'll answer a question while you're looking for that. Somebody asked where the Pennsylvania retreat is. It's in Walnutport, Pennsylvania, which is about, what, Shannon, 15, 20 minutes out of Allentown?
Yes,
Yeah. So
it's a lot
not
of
too
fun.
far, not too far from Philadelphia, 20 minutes out of Allentown. And it's not too far from the city, but it's sort of off on a quiet road, so you feel like you're in the country.
Yeah,
But it's great. It's a beautiful place, really relaxing, and the whole theme is it's in Walnutport, the Nut House on Cashew Drive, and we all get a little nutty there. So
And good news.
Shannon
done
is
it.
going to. Oh, you've done it. Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yes, you did it.
Yes. And Shannon is actually going to be a guest teacher at that retreat. So I'm very excited about that.
Oh,
yay!
Well, that sounds like great. And when you mentioned the fact about all of those quilts you've got to do, are those personal quilts and stuff, or are those your actual business quilts?
Personal quilts.
Oh God, you're going to be doing these forever.
Well, and I've quilted personal quilts over through 2023. I quilted personal quilts like 57, 58.
Wow.
So I did a lot of quilts last year.
Yeah.
That is a lot. So, okay, anything else you've got planned?
I think that's enough for now.
Like maybe some
You thought I was ambitious.
some therapy possibly? I don't know. So Russ, what do you got planned? I mean, you've had kind of an interesting year since you started your channel. You've been growing and developing. You've got you're live now and everything like that too. So what else have you got coming
well,
up?
I don't have as many quilts as Stephanie has to get put on the long arm, but I'm upwards of a dozen. So that's part of my personal stuff and learning how to use more and more the long arm and figure out why it doesn't like to advance when I advance. Or I'm sorry, it loses where it's at when I advance. For channel goals, I haven't really thought a whole lot. Getting my space set up with the technology since I have the new computer, getting it all working and getting the lives all set up how I want them to look. That is definitely big for early 2024. Get the year right. And then maybe at some point starting to invite some folks onto the lives, because that seems to attract a lot of attention from people when there's somebody besides a person and what they're working on. So I need to figure out when I'm going to be brave enough to start inviting folks over.
Oh, just do it. Look at
Rip
how
the Band-Aid off.
how successful I was with the technology tonight. It can't be any worse than that.
Like Stephanie, rip the Band-Aid off. That's what I had to do with getting my Zoom subscription back when we were doing the table runners. So it's working. It's just trying to make sure I have projects to continually work on the lives as well. That's the interesting part, is finding all of my works in progress, like Shannon needs to do, and figure out what is convenient to work on while I'm chit-chatting, so that if I do need to bring out the seam ripper, I can bring out my custom one that you made.
Oh, yes, the gnome seam ripper. The gnome will always be there for you. May the gnome be with you. Yeah, with it. And Russ, I have to ask you a question. Did you get a haircut today?
No, I got it yesterday.
Oh, okay. You notice these things, you know, that's important and that. So
No, it had been 5 weeks since my last haircut, and it was long. It was horrible.
oh,
I was
you
ready to
hip.
just take a buzzer and just do it myself.
Oh, that could be alive. Rush shaves his head. That would
Hey, Adam did it. Adam Sows did it.
Yeah, I saw that video where he gave himself his own haircut.
Yeah.
and it wasn't that successful. But so what about though you talked about your quilting life and all that kind of stuff. What about your personal life? You got any goals in there without getting too personal? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more.
I just go with the flow with everything. I may be getting a roommate at some point in the next, 3 days to 9 months. I don't know if that's going to happen, which is going to shift a few things around, getting things in the house back to organize. I may be getting a new kitty. I got to work on that.
Ooh, a new kitty.
Percy was a little upset being left alone for the couple days at the retreat. And well, I think he was more upset that the neighbor who checked in on him put his food in Riley's food dish. He found it and everything, but he's like, that's Riley's.
I don't eat out of a dog's dish.
Yeah, standards.
Really?
But yeah, I think I need to start going to like the Homeless Pets Foundation and Good Muse here in the area and say, what do we have that's compatible with my kitty and puppy?
Okay, so Walter, have you been following the comments in the chat section? I've been trying to keep my eye on them here.
Yeah, Lydia wants a trunk show for Stephanie's quilts at the end of the year.
Okay.
Okay, and any other things, comments here we should consider?
So Kelly's quilt says she would be interesting to see what your quilting looks like, Stephanie.
Like a video of quilting? Is that what she means? Like a video of quilting?
I don't know. It says what your quilting looks like. Would you film it so we can see it?
Oh, okay.
So what is it like? Well, you'll have to slow it down when you're.
Yeah.
Stephanie runs her sewing machine like she drives her car. Fast.
Pat's asking, Stephanie, do you make your quilt to go with your own patterns?
I don't understand that.
I'm not
You
sure.
can make your own pattern samples, I think is what she's asking.
Do I make sample? Yes. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Anything else there, Walter? General comments about cats and things there.
Vera Weeks is excited to see Stephanie's new plans for the year.
Anything else there? I don't see anything.
I don't see a lot.
Yeah, that looks caught up.
Yep. Okay, so Walter, what are your plans?
Well, that's a good question.
That's why I asked
Planning
it.
for our Australia trip coming up. That's a big thing. I'll probably do a few more shirts this year for sure. And I'll do I might do another quilt. Whether I like doing this one or not. There's a couple of bags I want to make that are not like the bags that I usually make, that are from a pattern, which I'd like to do. I'm not as speedy of a sewer as Steve or Stephanie or Russ or anybody else. So
he's very accurate though. Unfortunately. Yeah. And it's kitty break time. There's the cat. Okay. So yeah, Walter mentioned the fact that we have a trip planned to Australia. You've heard us talk about that before. We're leaving at the tail end of March and we'll be back sometime middle to latter part of April. That's all I know because Walter's my travel agent. And as far as I know, we fly into Sydney. We'll be there for a few days. Then we have a rented car and we're making our way to Brisbane, which is about 1,000 miles to the east of
1,000 kilometers.
Oh, is it 1,000 kilometers? Okay, whatever.
700 miles.
Yeah, so yeah. And we're hoping that we will meet up with Philippa. Some of you know who Philippa is as well. She lives in Brisbane, and meet up with her. But I have to wait till the travel agent gets everything worked out. Oh yes.
Yeah, so far all I have is the flight, the rental car, first 3 days in Sydney, and that's it.
Okay, so it could be a short trip. Down, back up in the air again. So what have I got planned for this year? Well, I have an unhealthy number of quilts piled up. They're done. They're done. I hate having UFOs. So right now I've got one sitting on Lucy waiting for me to quilt. That's the only one I've got that hasn't been quilted yet. But I'm thinking, why am I hoarding my quilts? I don't look at them. After, you've heard me say this before, I finish a quilt. I love the journey. When the quilt is done, I go, oh, that's nice. I take a picture of it, fold it all up, and it sits in a corner, actually in a storage bag now. And I got to start giving these away. Now, the neighbor next door did contact us and ask if I would donate a quilt to the senior citizens organization we have here in town, because they were having an auction at New Year's Eve, I think. They were having a little party at one of the senior citizen centers, and they were going to have a silent auction. So, and to raise money for, their activities and things like that. And I said, sure. So I picked out one. Well, they didn't auction it off. Reason being is, and I was very flattered by this, they said they thought it was too nice, so they're going to wait until they have a bigger event and then auction it off then when they have more people. So I thought, okay, so instead of probably raising $50, it might raise $52.50. I mean, I don't out of it. So yeah, that's there. And but I want to give away more of my quilts, and we do have a branch of Project Linus, which donates quilts to kids who are going through traumatic events in their life, anywhere from, in the hospital for cancer treatments or whatever, or they're going through a difficult time, their family is breaking up or whatever. So I did contact the lady. Actually, I contacted her last year, but I never got around to giving any. But I will this year. And I asked her, do you have a need for quilts for teenage boys? Because I know they give them to teenage boys, teenage girls, babies, toddlers, and all that. And she says, oh, yes, because that's the one group that there aren't any quilts really for, because everybody focuses on the babies and the toddlers and forgets about the older kids. And of course, because I was a high school English teacher, older kids are something that is in my interest as well. So that's what I am going to donate my quilts for. So I've got a couple I've already picked out of my hoard, and I'm going to go through and pick out some other ones that I think would be appropriate and fit the criterion for that, and they're going to go off. And then I'm just going to look for other organizations in my area and just start whittling down the pile. Because to be honest, when I take them out of those bags, I go, oh, did I make that? When was that? I forgot about that one completely. So yeah, I mean, I can't take them with me when I go. So, and we had this discussion earlier today with the people that were on our show with Stephanie and Steven. And, people were talking about what's going to happen to their fabric when they go. And, one lady said, or somebody said that there was an auction for a room full of quilting stuff and quilts, and there was it went for like $150. So I think we need to plan for that kind of eventuality. And so if I give mine away before then no one has to worry about cleaning out my hoard and being buried. My other plans too, for besides traveling, as we've already stated, for my channel, if this works out, hopefully next time will be better technically, because I won't be running the tech next time, so it should be. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing interviews. I might. I'll see if some come up. To be honest, doing an interview is a lot trickier than it seems, because you get people who just never answer you back, or it's just really difficult for many reasons to coordinate a time with them and that kind of thing. And yeah, I do a lot of prep work before I interview somebody as well. So I don't know if I want to put this much time into that now. I do plan to have another retreat in both the spring and the fall. I haven't figured out the date yet for the spring retreat. Australia is kind of interfering with this a little bit. So I usually like to do it in the early spring. I think it's going to be more late spring this year. It's going to be probably in around the first weekend, first Saturday, maybe in May, but don't hold me to that. I will get everything out to everybody beforehand about that. And I want to do something a little different with the retreat. Again, not sure what that is. It might involve some of these people. Stay tuned. I don't know. It depends on how much I can sucker them. I mean, get them to volunteer for this. And yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. So just carry on the way that I have been. And I'm always open to suggestions, nice suggestions, constructive suggestions, not suggestions like where I can stick things. I won't do that. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm always busy. Lots more quilts to make. And so little time. Yeah. Okay, so what do we have? Any more questions or anything, Walter, that we should be looking at?
Lydia has a question for Stephanie about
Oh,
maybe
Stephanie.
yeah, maybe showing a segment on how you go about choosing a quilting pattern or pantograph for a long arm as you work through your pile of projects. What helps you decide your pattern and thread?
Okay. That's a good
Actually, that's
suggestion.
actually a good idea. Actually, I
Yeah.
didn't really think about that because that's one thing that people I think would be like to know. What it's choose actually with Steve too, choosing the thread and the pattern for what you're going to do quilting on.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good
Yeah.
topic too.
That's a
Because
great topic.
Yeah.
Russ and I also do long arming people.
Yeah. But obviously Stephanie's
Who's this
pro.
real star here, though?
Well, I wasn't going to get into that because I'm too modest, but no. Any other questions there, Walter, that are coming up?
No,
I
there's
got a
lots of
question for the
general
group.
questions here and there. So somebody's suggesting you should have a starting price on your quilt that's in as Welch for, if you're giving one away for a charity for an auction.
I see there's some other suggestions here for where you can donate quilts as well, like local fire department. I see police department. Yeah, I just recently heard about that police department in some cases like to get quilts too, because when they get they go to a scene of an accident or worse, and there's children involved, they like to try to they're outside the whole bit. They wrap them up in a quilt kind of a thing. It's not just for warmth, but it's sort of like it's like a hug. It kind of hurts them a little bit too. So that's something I'd never thought of. So I think I should look into that as well. Anything else? No. So we've talked about our goals and everything like that. You've heard us talk about the retreat and how great that was. And we're all going back to the retreat again next Christmas. It's going to be Christmas in Georgia for us. It's going to seem like a tradition now. And so we don't need to talk about all of that again.
I think
some
Shannon's
things-
got a question for us.
Yeah. Go for it.
Wanted to know if there was one project that you would like to get done in 2024. If you get nothing else done, is there one thing that you want to get done in 2024?
Someone answer.
Besides the stuff I have to get done in 2024.
Yeah, I have one. I want to finish my Legit Kit Sea Turtle.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I would like to actually try my hand at doing an art quilt of my own design, but doing something that is abstract. I'm thinking just taking a whole pile of my scraps and cutting them into curves and trying to sew them all together and see what happens. I hesitate to do that because I get these ideas in my head, and then when I start to execute them, I go, well, this is going to be crap. And I move on to something else. But I'd really like to get over that little barrier hump and just do it. Like the Quilting Marine says all the time, it's just fabric and thread.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
in other words, why worry? You have anything, Russ?
I think I want to actually break into the Everglow kit. It's going to be my first fussy cutting, and that's just something that I've not done before. So I want to start playing, and Everglow is so gorgeous.
And Walter, what about you?
I don't have anything that I have to say that I really want to do exactly in the new year, but I have a lot of things circulating in my head about things that I like to tackle, but I don't know if I'll get there or not.
Like what?
It's not a bucket list thing.
Like what?
Oh, I don't know, just things.
But like what?
Like actually, the one thing I don't know, it's like you with your abstract quilt. I don't know, I don't do enough in quilting, but I wanted to, I kind of get, I like looking at the art quilts, and I don't really like, it's when I do quilting, it's not really like I like the traditional stuff. But I don't know if I'm advanced enough to do anything like that, or if I can do, um, or maybe because I'm not set into doing patterns, maybe I can go ahead and try something for the hell of it and see if it works out. I don't know.
Walter is very artistic. And he says this, but he could probably do it. In fact, I know he can do it. He used to do stained glass. So, you know, and with a minimal amount of blood involved with that too. So I know that he could. You just have to, sometimes
I just have to, I get too uptight about thinking it's not going to work out.
As Stephanie said earlier, you just need to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
yeah. So Shannon, what about you?
I think of all of the things I want to actually sit down and use this machine and do some actual like custom quilting, like real deal quilting. Because I do adore matchstick quilting, but I can't do everything matchstick quilting. So I want to like stretch the boundaries a little bit and learn some. I've got some rulers and really learn how to do that. I don't have the space for a long arm as much as I would love to kick my children out of the home and just like knock walls down and make this whole place quilt related. I just don't have the space for it. But this machine, it has a nice table for doing it, and I need to do it. I want to do it. So
Just rip that Band-Aid off.
rip the Band-Aid off.
That's going to be the motto now. I see Lydia asked me a question or a suggestion.
She did.
Stephen, can you do a series on embroidery, like tips and tricks on the right stabilizers depending on the
Ooh.
project? Well, actually, Walter and I have done something like that on So Chatty.
Actually, maybe we should do like a series like how to do freestanding lace, or
Something.
how to do an individual project.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds like a good idea. And we would do that together because we both do machine embroidery. And that's a good idea, Lydia. So, yep,
Be fun.
I'm writing that one down. So you don't see me
Yeah.
physically writing because I'm writing it in my brain. No, I better write it down.
No, it would be really interesting because you guys have touched on embroidery stuff before, but as somebody who doesn't embroider, doesn't have an embroidery machine, it would be neat to see your project from where you picked it all the way through, like how you picked your threads, sort of like they were saying for the long arm, picked your stabilizer, everything all the way through the end of the project. That would be neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Steve and I do similar things, but I sometimes do other things. Like he uses a certain brand of thread, and I use a different brand of thread. And our colors, I sometimes just pick colors out of the blue that I like rather than what the pattern calls for. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have played with the idea in my head and of actually doing an embroidery along where we'd be a group of us, you know, very much like what Shannon does, what Stephanie does, kind of a thing with sewing, quilting, paper piecing, all that, but with embroidery. And we'd all have the same file or same project, and we would work through it over a period of maybe a couple, 3 sessions, something like that. I don't know. I have to think more about the logistics of that, because you see, everybody would have to be people with machine embroidery, like with
Yeah.
machines for embroidery, and all the machines are a little different.
Mhm.
So, that might be a bit of a stickler. I don't know how much of it was, but we'll have to see. But Lydia's idea, I think we can actually manage that one for sure. Are there any other comments? Anybody
Well,
who's looking here?
Tamala had asked, what about thread painting? Does that interest anyone?
Hmm.
We're lucky if I paint my walls.
I mean, that's part of an abstract.
Yeah.
I don't know
You've
if
done
I would
it.
or not in something. I have done a little tiny bit of it, but in my first quilt that I did, but I'm not sure if I incorporate that in something else or not. I have seen some spectacular stuff done with thread painting,
Gosh, yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm there yet.
How
Yeah.
about you, Russ?
As I said, I'm lucky if I paint my walls. It's been now 3 years I picked up the paint color for my bedroom and I haven't put it on yet. So I don't know how much for thread painting I would do.
Yeah.
It's
I've never
gorgeous.
really
I've
done it.
seen, as everybody else, it's wonderful stuff, but
Mhm.
I'm more into, sewing straight lines and getting my seam straight.
Yeah, I've never really done any thread painting before. It's interesting, but I'm like Russ. It doesn't hold as much of a fascination to me, because I think that's where it moves a little bit more into the very artistic, like almost like, well, it's called thread painting, and it
Yeah.
is like painting, and I can't paint. So I don't know, it might freeze me up. But Walter has done a little bit of it. Um, so maybe down the road, who knows? We're not experts by any stretch of the imagination when it comes to thread painting. Like, we're just like all the other people out there just learning how to do it. So, but it's a thought.
What about
Anything
you,
else?
Shannon?
Oh, no, it hasn't even crossed my mind.
Yeah, and for me either, because I make quilts to use them, not to become a work of art. And
Yeah.
I think thread painting is gorgeous, but those quilts are art. They're not quilts that you would use. So
Yeah.
I've put my quilts in shows, but all the quilts I've had in shows, I have now here at my home and we use them. So that's probably why I wouldn't do thread painting, just because I don't enjoy doing art. I enjoy making quilts. So
Yeah. And Landa has come up with another suggestion. She says she would love to see pics of your first quilts with a story.
oh gosh, I don't even have my first quilts. That was
My first
so many
quilt.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking that might be possibly something we could explore on another future episode of this.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
could extend it too, not just our first quilts, but maybe ones that really mean something to us. Like there's a story around it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking off the top of my head, like Russ has the quilt that he did with his mother when she did the crochet
The
bird,
Afghan. Yep.
the Afghan. And I have my very first quilt, but I have a couple of quilts that I made after our first trip to Australia that are all made out of Australian tea towels. They weigh
Oh, cool.
300 pounds, but that kind of thing. And Walter has his first quilt that he made too. So, and I'm sure, Stephanie, you've got a quilt or two in your collection that have it's like a significant story to them as well.
Yeah, I
And
actually have two that I can think of. I definitely don't have my first quilts because that was, I don't want to admit how many years ago. Oh, 20 years ago. So, yeah, those are long gone because the first ones were to nieces and nephews and, so, but yeah, I've got a couple with definitely that mean a lot to me. So,
And Karen says, Stephen, maybe how you read a pattern and adapt the cutting instructions to use the AccuQuilt. Yeah, that's a possibility. That is something we could do on Sewcial once I get an AccuQuilt machine that now works. Because mine's not working
Uh-oh.
on Friday.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a story for that you will hear about that
Another day.
probably on social media this week coming up. Yeah. So, okay, and I think we're caught all up on people's questions and things like that right now. So anything else that anybody wants to bring up at this point in time? Any milestones coming up in anybody's life? Stephanie, are you entering any quilts this year into contests?
We'll see. To be determined. I am eligible to put some quilts in the Ohio State Fair because I won some ribbons last year, but we'll see what happens. I was hoping to put the sea turtle in an upcoming show, but I don't think I'm gonna get it done in time, which is okay. Let's see, milestones. Some of you are very close to hitting a fun number on YouTube.
Yes, I'm getting
So
close to 10,000, but you're getting very close to 20,000.
yeah,
And you guys, Shannon and Rush, you guys are getting very close to 1,000.
yep.
Yeah.
So I do have a plan. When I hit 10,000, I am going to plan a special event. What that looks like, I have no idea. Say that before. I have a lot of things run through my head, but yeah, and then they run right back out. So I have to put a plug in. Oh, Shannon.
January 29th is my 1-year anniversary on YouTube.
Woohoo!
Ooh.
Are you going to have
Awesome.
are you going to have cake?
But quilted, so it probably won't taste very good.
I like pies anyways better, so yeah. So Rush, you got any milestones coming up?
Just at some point in the next, 2 to 900 days, hitting 1,000 subscribers.
We're so
I'm not
close.
rushing it, but we are close.
Yeah.
Yeah. What people
And there was thoughts about entering something into the North Georgia Fair, but the project that I wanted to is delayed a little bit, so I don't know if it's going to get done in time.
okay.
Mm.
Ava says, are any of you planning on going to QuiltCon in Raleigh?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, 3 out of 5 of us. Look, I'm sorry, but they may not let us back across the border after we already did that this year, kind of a thing. But yeah, so 3 of you are going, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And do the 3 of you tend to plan to meet up? I would assume you will.
Yeah,
It'll probably happen.
Yeah.
there folks have asked us, are we gonna meet peoples? Okay, first of all, the thought of anybody wanting to meet me anywhere is wild. So
We want to
I'm
meet.
just gonna hang around Stephanie and just she's the wind beneath my wings kind of thing. I will just but yeah, it's something I guess we got to talk about because people are asking, but it's just never anything I thought I'd ever think about.
It's an odd thing. It's an odd thing to have people asking to meet you because you guys know, all of us on here know, we don't feel like we're anything special. So it's just a weird thing. So when people,
I know me, I don't want to meet me.
well, you're amazing. So people would want to meet you. But I mean, when we've been getting these emails, I'm just like, why? Why do you want to take your time out to go have fun?
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice to go, but it falls on the heels of the retreat. And as I said, for us, that's a bit of a trip down there. So, we'd either have to fly and, right now the MAX 9s and the other planes are all blowing their doors off. So,
yeah.
I don't want to, you guys are looking up in the air and go, oh, here comes Stephen and Walter. I splat really well. But yeah, it would be nice. Now, there is a big Canadian event coming up in June in Edmonton. It's the Canadian Quilt Association's annual big national quilt show. But we were planning to go, but Stephanie said she's not, so we've decided we're not going to bother either. No, that's not really it. I mean, it's Edmonton. Enough said.
I actually really liked the Quilt Canada show and wouldn't mind going back in the future. I just can't go this year because I've got some other personal trips coming up that I didn't have on the books last year. So my daughter is turning 15
Ooh.
and
Ooh.
next year she's going to be driving and not want to do anything with me anymore. So so this year for her birthday, taking her on a trip with just her and I. So I've got that going on, and then I'm going on a quilts cruise in June. So some extra things that, you know, would keep me from doing like Quilt Canada and things. So
Where's the quilt cruise go?
we're going to Honduras and 2 spots in Mexico.
Ooh.
And I think we have 3 days at sea, and it's with the Quilting Marine
Hmm.
and Rob Appel. So I'm really excited about that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yes. Yes.
So I assume that when you're on the days at sea, that's when you're doing the quilting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And are they teaching? I assume they're teaching classes or something.
I'm not sure how much they're going to teach. You pay for a kit to be cut ahead of time because you can't bring certain things on board, like sharp things. And you just sit, they bring the sewing machines, you sit and you sew, they give you a pattern. So I think it's more of like they're going to appear there. I don't think it's going to be so much teaching, but yeah.
Well, you know, I aspire to become like them, where I can just appear and gold shoots out of my ear and people worship me and go, we are not worthy. We are not worthy.
We're not worthy.
Yeah.
Oh, but you didn't get enough of that in Georgia.
Yeah. No, I never get enough of that. I don't know. Shannon, I don't know. You just went, oh, hi, it's you.
Oh.
So no.
Hi, Walter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they all did. They all, it's Walter. Get out of our way. We want to see Walter.
Mr. Dreamy.
Yeah, he's up for bids. And Lillian did ask if we were going to Quilt Canada Edmonton, and right now the answer is no, probably not. Because again, like Stephanie, we have other trips planned this year too. We have Australia, and yeah, it's not worth the trip to Edmonton. I'm sorry to all of those that come from Western Canada, but
I mean, by the time we go and pay for the trip and everything, we could actually go to Europe. So
yeah, and quite frankly, I'd rather go to Europe.
Yeah.
So sorry. It is my own country, so I can cut it down. Okay. You guys are not allowed to. You're not in the country, but we can. No, Edmonton's nice, but we've been there. And yeah. So all right. So I'm just looking here to see if anybody else has anything, something about spray cheese.
We did get excited about a quilt cruise, but
Yeah.
that's a Stitch in Heaven thing, right? They do that a lot.
Yeah. Stitch in Heaven, it's a quilt shop in Texas. The other quilt shop in Texas, everybody knows Fat Quarter Shop, but Stitch in Heaven's another huge quilt shop in Texas. And they do them, I think they have one every few weeks. I mean, it's a regular thing for them to do quilt cruises, and each one is themed to a different thing. And the one that I'm going on, obviously, it's the Quilting Marine. It is Quilt of Valor themed. So both quilts that we're going to make are Quilt of Valor approved. So I'm going to make a couple quilts and donate them. So
it's awesome.
Yeah. Pat Jennings says, check out the quilt show in Birmingham, England. Yes, and I hear that would be something to see as well. But I think that's usually what, in June?
I thought it was in like August. I'm not sure though.
Maybe you're right. Maybe in August.
Yeah, that one's on my bucket list, but just not this year. So.
Yeah. Well, who knows? It's an idea.
Get me liquored up enough to so I'll get on a plane and I'll come too.
Oh, we're going to a quilt show. Is that secure?
Well, here's the thing. I've been to mainland Europe, but I've never been to the British Isles. So I would combine it with that, the quilt show, and meeting Adam in person.
Nice.
Cool. Go over and meet up with Adam or Kate, you know, but that kind of thing. That would be, you know, talk about stalker instinct then. With it, hello, Kate. Hi, Adam.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway,
Lydia is asking if QuiltCon is ever in the northern part of the States.
No. It bounces back and forth between the East Coast and the West. Well, it's not really on the coast on the West, but it typically goes to Phoenix. And then the year before it was in Atlanta. This year it's in North Carolina. Next year it's going back to Phoenix. So it kind of goes back and forth between the coast of it. North Carolina is the furthest I've ever seen it come north. So
Yeah, actually, Diana is going to the Birmingham, and she says it's in August this year.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
we'll have to live vicariously through Diana. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Marie Ann says, "Do your own thing, Walter." Okay, he does, believe me. So yeah. So I don't know, anything else we want to discuss right now? We've been going now, well, not quite an hour, because if we take into consideration the screw up I did at the beginning, that was part of the entertainment, folks. Yes, I'm here all week. Be
No
sure to tip your
worries.
waitress.
So do we just want to talk about next month? Next month will be February 14th. So Valentine's Day.
Alcohol's Awareness Day. Sad for short.
Yeah.
So, and that'll be on my channel. So if you guys want to come on over next month, that would be awesome.
Yay.
And we don't really have a topic yet, do we? For that. So it will be a surprise.
Yeah.
With it. And yeah. So I guess, guys, that's it for our first premiere issue of the Sewcial Review. Oh, I have to tell you something about the title of it. Just take a second. When we came up with this title, I actually came up with the title, and I said, okay, you want to do something like this? We could call it the Sewcial, spell it S-E-W instead of, S-O-C, kind of a thing. Kind of like on the line of The View, or here in Canada, we have a show called The Sewcial. So yes, I plagiarized it, but I changed the spelling. But then one of our subscribers, I think it was Teresa, said to me, there's already one on YouTube called The Sewcial, kind of a thing. Actually, it was called the Sewcial something Society of that.
Hour, I think it was.
Something
There's
like
a Sewcial
that. Yeah.
Sunday too.
Yeah, Sewcial Sunday. And then there's one called the Sewcial Studio as well. And then somebody else mentioned there's a store somewhere in New York State or something with that in it too. And I thought,
And there's a Sewcial Stitches, and there's all kinds of them.
So we fought with the title. I want to call it the Sewcial with the Fab Five, but somebody, her name will not be mentioned, Shannon, thought that was just a little long.
It was so long.
It's not that long. But I mean, if I'd put in the Fabulous Five, well, yeah, that's 2 extra syllables. But no. But anyways, Walter came up with the name, the Sewcial. Actually, the first name he came up with was the Sewcial Disease, but we thought that might not go over so well. So yeah, so that's why we ended up with the Sewcial Review. So that's what we're called. So, okay, so we'll see you on Valentine's Day. Have your best heart. Now I'm not going to finish that statement.
Wait, it's soon.
I'll let you fill in the blank. Yeah.
Yay,
Wait,
there it
will
goes.
this work? Oh, there it goes.
There you go.
I can't do that.
Okay, so thanks everybody.
Oh, yeah, it worked, Walter.
Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Sorry about the little screw up at the beginning, my bad. But it will be much smoother next month because Stephanie will be doing it. No pressure. Okay, so thanks everybody, and yeah, we'll see you at the next one. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hey.